Okay, guys, so we're going to be using Pixlr this week. So we're going to do 4 short video tutorials, and then you're going to create something with each tutorial that will lead to the final project. So the first thing you're going to do is go to pixlr.com. Now, you do not have to create an account or anything, which is super awesome. This is very similar to Photoshop, and you all know that Photoshop is limited because we are split between online learners and school learners. So this is going to be our option. So when you go to pixlr.com, you have the choice of advanced, Pixlr, or playful. We're going to use advanced. So you're going to click on that. Now, this is our home screen, and there you can see projects that I already have, which you're going to be doing as well. So that is your history. That's the first thing that's going to pop up. And then create new. Go back there. Didn't mean to click on that. All right, let me go back to advanced. And then you have create new and then stock search. So for our first video, we are going to go to create new. And then it gives you the options of your size depending on what you're making. So square would be for actually they have Instagram, they have Facebook, like an icon, a thumbnail if you're doing like a headshot or anything like that. We're going to go ahead and use full HD, and I'm going to title this basic tool. Okay, and take one because I already have one called number one. All right, before we do that, you can see this background. So right now it is on transparent, which is super awesome, a feature that wasn't always available on Photoshop, or it just took a little maneuvering. So if you want a color, you can click it to the right, and then you have these options. We're just going to stick with transparent for this very first one, and now I'm going to hit create. So for the first tutorial, there's only going to be a few tools that I want you to learn because we're going to go step by step. So first, let's just go over the screen. Up here, just like any other editing program, you're going to have your categories. Over here is layers, which we will talk about in another video. And then here's your tools. A cool feature for Pixlr is that when you hover over the tool, it gives you a very good description and even a picture of what that tool does. All right, so the first thing is zooming in and zooming out. If you don't already know, a shortcut for that is Control plus or Control minus. So I'm going to just Control plus it so I can see my full screen. The first tool that you're going to use here is Paint Fill. So I want to add a color that fills my screen just before I get started. So I'm going to click the Fill bucket, and then down here you will see your color selector. So now the top one, this one right here, is going to be the color that would go if I selected that. I'm not sure I want that one right now, so let's go. I'm going to go with a blue, so you can click anywhere on this bar, and then once you're on the bar, you can move it anywhere on here to select your color. So I want to go with a blue, green, let's say. So I'm going to move maybe right there, like an aqua. Now I'm going to select my paint fill, and there it is. So now I have used our tool number one, which is paint fill. Okay, the next tool I want to show you is gradient. All right, now it will completely fill your paper. So gradient, if I click on it, I have up at the top, I have a linear and radial. So linear is going to, and then here's my gradient color. So let's just see what linear looks like. All right, awesome. Now if I wanted it to be really short, it would go there, or really long, it would go there. Beautiful. Now radial, let's click on that and see. Now it kind of comes from the center, right? Now, you can change your colors just by simply clicking on that. Let's just say I want rainbow, and I'm going to go like that. but I think I want it a little longer. All right. So that's gradient. So far you have used fill and gradient. All right. Now the third tool we're going to use for this video only is the brush here. And as it says, you can draw and doodle. But what is so cool about this brush is if I click up here, I can change my size, big, huge, softness. But look at all the brush designs here that we have. So cool. So I can go from just a regular brush, and let's just use a couple here. All right, so, ooh, yes, nice. All right, let's change it. Let's see what a shape looks like, okay? All right, so stars, yes, 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 okay. Now, this is one of my favorites here. It's like a twinkle design, like a sparkle. All right, so go here. Ooh, beautiful. All right, and then again, you can change your size by clicking here. So it can be a big, like that. Your opacity, you can also change. So brush tool is amazing. You can use all of these little shapes and brush tools, okay? And again, if I wanted to change the color, I just go to down at the bottom, the color picker, and then I can keep using my brush tool. So, review, we've used fill to fill our background, but then we changed it to gradient, and we had radial and linear, and we have used the brush tool. The next one I'm going to show you is another one of my favorites, which is the pen. Oh my word, there is a very big spider crawling on the floor. Gross. All right, I'm going to select pen. Now, you have plain. So let's just see what plain looks. It is very plain, but it's yellow and it's not showing up. So I'm going to change it to blue. All right, so here's just basic pen. Not very exciting, but I can change the I could change the size. I'm just going to go a little thicker. Here is crayon, which is kind of fun. All right, furry. Furry. Okay. Furry works better, I think, when you change the size to a little bit bigger. Now, sketchy. Here's one of my favorites, okay? So it's almost like a pen that adds kind of like the shading. Awesome, right? So sketchy. There's my little pencil, and I'm gonna select this color and give myself a little eraser. All right, so that is the pen. All right, the final tool that we're going to use just in this tutorial is the text tool. You should all be very familiar with the text tool. It's in every software program that you use to create. So once I click on the text, up here at the top, I'm going to click Add Text. But what is really neat about, I feel like about the Pixlr is the font options are so much more than Photoshop. So click on the font and I'm going to, let's just pick one that I think is going to work. As you can see, look at all the options. They are awesome. So then, where did it go? Well, I think I just deleted it. So sorry about that. Oh, there we go. All right, so there we go. Pixlr is awesome. But what do you notice? The color's kind of blending in, so all I'm going to do is highlight it, and maybe I just want it in black. All right, and then just like any other software program, you can move it wherever you want. So, and I really want y'all to stick to what I'm asking you to do here, but for tutorial number 1, you're just going to spend time playing with those tools that I just showed you. And then you're going to create a picture. And in that picture, all right, I want to see, oh, I forgot shapes, sorry. So let's go back and do shapes. But gradient, fill, brush, play around with your brush. I want to see text and then something that you drew with your pen. But I'm glad I did this because let's go back and look at our shape option. So shapes is right here next to text. All right, so now it's saying select an image. So you're going to want to select this one right here. We're not going to get into layers right now, but just make sure that this one is selected. See how if it will not let me put shapes on that one. So once I click on shapes, let's see, let's do a couple stars. Now, the stars are automatically going to be in these two colors that I've chosen, pink and blue. Okay, the one color selector down there. But if I wanted to change the color, I can. I just click on it and go to color selector. Let's do a couple hearts. Okay, now it's red and blue. Now what happens if I click this arrow? They're going to switch. Now what happens? They just reversed. All right, so now I have a red heart with blue outline. So you can also play around with the shapes here. Okay, so now let's go back, and this picture will be in your Schoology, okay? So you're going to create a picture that has shapes. So you see my shapes up there. It has gradient for the background. You have used the brush to create something. You have used text, and you have used the pen. Please don't use anything else, as we will have 3 more tutorials and ways for you to use the other tools. All right, can't wait to see this. You're going to be submitting this in Schoology.